In this video, we will be talking over every single box in the game. I will be ranking all the boxes in the game so far. I'll give it a quick review and tell you if you should invest your gems or money into these boxes or not. So let's begin. Okay, first box, Ultimate Rising. What do we have in this box? The best card in this entire box is probably just Sphere Karibo. Every other card is bad. I mean, Fusion Gate was kind of good before in Cyber Dragon decks. I even got myself 3 copies. I think I got my last copy through a Dream Ticket. But now it's bad, because Cyber Dragons got nerfed to the ground. The skill especially, because it was primarily good because of their old skill before the nerf. It's not good anymore. Every other card is trash. Sonic Bird isn't even good anymore because we have Manju. The only good card in this entire box is Sphere Karibo, which doesn't make it worth. Terrible box. Just get Sphere Karibo with your Dream tickets or something. Next box, Age of Discovery. There's a pile of trash. Maybe you would want your Moray of Greed if you're playing a water deck, but not worth it in my opinion. Bad box, don't buy it. Next box, Neo Impact. We have our Senju, which is worthless because we have our Manju. Mirror Wall, very good before, like 5 years ago, not good anymore. All the cards are pretty trash, don't buy this box. Bad box. Next box, Flame of the Tyrant. Yeah, we do have our Venus, which is actually pretty good in the Link era. It can make a Link 4 on its own. But other than that card, all the others are pretty trash. So unless you really want to play stuff like World Chalice, you shouldn't buy this box at all. Next box, Valkyrie's Rage. This box actually has one good card in it, and it's a Divine Wrath. But honestly, you could just play Ultimate Providence and get away with it most of the time. So it isn't really that worth it. The other cards are trash, don't buy this box. Our next box is Wonders of the Sky. Okay, there's actually one card in this box that is actually quite good. It is a Pointer of the Red Lotus. It's actually an rarity card, so I would recommend you get 3 copies of this card during the half gem sale. And after you get 3 copies, just leave this box alone and move on. Okay, Chaotic Compliance. Let's see. All the cards here aren't pretty good. I mean, I guess you have Planet Pathfinder, but you can get that from structure decks. So yeah, bad box, don't buy it. Next box, Land of the Titans. Possibly the worst box in the entire game. I don't know what Konami was thinking when they made this box. I mean, there is Obedient Schooled if you want to play Unicorn Turbo, but bad box, not worth it. Crimson Kingdom. Okay, this box actually has some good cards in it. We have Buster Blader if you want to play Buster Bladers. We have Gozuki if you want to play zombie decks. But you can get away with Samurai Skull because it is a much cheaper version of Gozuki. There's another good card in this box. It is Ultimate Providence. Well, it is a cheaper version of Divine Wrath. You can also get this card from a structure deck as well, so this box isn't absolutely necessary. So, not as bad as the boxes before, but still not really good. The Dawn of Destiny. Absolute garbage. You can get your Nephis from a structure deck. Yeah, you can get Nephis from a structure deck. This spell is trash. The other cards are trash. Fire King is reprinted in a structure deck. So yeah, bad box. Electric Overload, all the cards are trash. Maybe Treeborn Frog if you're desperate to play stuff like Monarchs. But yeah, trash box, no good cards. Let's move on. Echoes of Silence. Trash cards, absolute garbage. You can even get Silent Magician from a structure deck, so not worth it at all. Generation X, the best card in the box is Floodgate. It is still good to this day even when links are out. because you can flip down their link materials. But other cards are trash. I mean, King of the Swamp is quite decent in some fusion decks, but the other cards are bad. So if you want to get Floodgate, I would suggest using a Dream Ticket rather than to go into this box. And also, if you're a zombie player, you can get your Samurai Skull here. Servants of Kings. Okay, so this box is actually interesting. This box is actually decent, because we do have some really good staples in this box. We have our Forbidden Chalice. It negates monster effects. It has a Wall of D. While it is not as good as it was before, it's still pretty good. When it catches people off guard, it does sometimes even win you the game. We have some stall cards like Draining Shield, if you want to play stall decks. We have our Painful Decision for decks like Metal Foes that want to search their own normal monsters. Okay, next box, Galactic Origin. Absolute garbage, except there are actually 3 cards that are decent. First one, Try Fortress Ops, which is actually decent in some decks like Thunder Dragons. You can summon this card from your hand. It prevents itself from getting affected from any effects. It has quite a bit of defense. There's Cosmic. It's still pretty good, even if it's limited to 3. It is still a really strong back row removal if you don't have MST. And Into the Void, it is good in some OTK decks. You can draw a card for free, basically. Yeah, but this box also falls under the category of having really good UR cards, but all the other cards are trash. So again, if you want to get Cosmic Cyclone, for example, just get a Dream Ticket. Don't bother with this box. Next box, Blades of Spirits. Yeah, Powerful Rebirth is reprinted. Our Parallel Twister is also reprinted. Our Fire Formation is only okay, so yeah, bad box, don't buy it. Primal Birds, is this box good? No, absolutely not. All the cards are bad except for Volcanic Shell in some certain decks that play Neos Fusion. But all the other cards are bad. All of them are bad. Gaia Plate is maybe useful in some fossil decks, but you don't actually need it. Okay, Resonance of Contrast. This box actually has a pretty good staple in Void Trap Hole. It negates your opponent's special summoned monsters with 2000 or more attack and destroys it. It is a pretty good staple trap, but all the other cards are absolute garbage, so don't buy this box unless you want to play Boojins. Abyss Encounters. Okay, this box is interesting. It has Sea Stealth Attack, a pretty good trap to use in Crystons, and also decks that use water monsters to go into Citadel Well. It is still quite a good card even to this day. Yeah, so this box is still overall pretty bad, but you do have your Sea Stealth Attack in case you do want to play a water deck. Rampage of the Forest used to be pretty good because of your Hatronade, but it is now banned, so the other good card in this box is Memory Loss. It's in the gate, but it changes that monster to defense, which means you can't use it with links. So this card is also bad now. So this box is bad. Valiant Souls is actually the first box that you might want to get into. Valiant Souls is probably the best old box in the entire game because it actually has some decent cards going for it. You have your Canadia, you have Needle Sealing, which is a million times better right now because of our extra monster zone. We have Dark Road Dealings if you want to draw through your deck. You have your Double Cyclone, even though this card is reprinted in a structure deck, I'm pretty sure. It is still pretty good. And you do have your Anki if you're playing a hero deck, very important. And also, of course, a Mask Change. And also, Amazonas. We have our Onslaught, which is in this box. It is a really good card for new players. It gives them a competent beginner deck to play with. And this card is perhaps the best card in the entire deck that makes the entire deck work. And of course, there is also another low rarity staple card in this box, which is Stygian Dirge. It reduces all the levels of your opponent's monsters by 1. While it is not useful against fusion and link monsters, it is a game winner if you're playing against a Synchro or Xyz deck. So it is a really good side deck option if you're playing in tournaments, and also really good in ranked depending on the meta. Visions of Ice, there is one absolutely broken trap in this entire box. It is trash. It is still really good right now. It is perhaps the best singular trap in the entire game. And you also have your spellbooks, which is very important if you want to play the spellbook draw engine. You will need 1 copy of Secret and 1 copy of our spellbook Magician of Prophecy. But other than that, the other cards are bad. But if you only want your Tretch from this box, you're better off just using your Dream Tickets instead. Crusaders Battlegrounds. Okay, this box is bad. I don't have much more to say, this box is just bad. Clash of Wings, we do have our very mediocre Battle Trap, which isn't good, and more importantly, we have our Fur Hires, which is a pretty cheap deck, which you can build easily and will only get better when more of their supports actually come out, especially their Link monsters. Fur Hires have potential, so you will want to keep an eye on this archetype in case it becomes good later. Burning Nova has pretty bad cards, but if you're playing Dark Magicians, you may want to get 1 copy of this to prevent your opponent from banishing cards in their graveyard. But if you only want this card and nothing else, again, just use your Dream Tickets. Don't bother with this box. This box is just bad. Okay, Empire of Scarlet. This box is decent because the vampires are in this box, and they're not bad actually because they also get more support in later boxes. So this box isn't that bad at all for the vampire part. So vampires are actually quite decent if you also get their other supports from the newer boxes. So if you want to play vampires, this box is not bad. Okay, Gaia Genesis actually has some really good staples. We have a Galaxy Cyclone for Photon decks, but you probably only need 1 copy of this because you can search it off with your Photon Lord. And again, if you only want 1 copy of this for your Photon deck, just use your Dream Tickets. And Drowning Mirror Force is still really good. It's only gotten better because of Links. Drowning Mirror Force is a really good staple for you to consider. Even though it is a battle trap, it is so devastating that it just wins you the game if you are able to use it. The UA cards here are not bad, especially the midfielder. The Koaki Miru cards are okay. And if you're playing Mermails or Crystons or just any water deck, Abyss Spike is pretty useful. And also, if you're playing a Water Xyz, Atlantean Heavy Infantry is also a very important card in that deck, which you can get from this box. So this box is actually okay. It's not bad. And also, if you want to build an entire deck only using this box, you can build Aqua Actress, which is also from this box, and all of the cards are really low in rarity. Okay, next box, Stardust Acceleration. Well, this box does have some really good cards like Offerings to the Doomed. It is just a good generic monster removal in a staple. You have your Unexpected Die, so if you're not planning to spend any money on your structure decks, then you can get your Unexpected Dies here. And we also have your Undyne for Crystons. But yeah, you might notice that a lot of cards in this box is actually reprinted in a structure deck. Stardust is reprinted, Unexpected Die is reprinted, your Azure Eyes is also reprinted, so this box isn't that important. So this box actually has some really good cards. For Buster Bladers, we have our Buster Wealth, which is available from this mini box. It is also available from selection boxes if you want to buy them from that. We have our Swordsman Fusion. We have some scrap support that will be really good if more of their support comes out. That's pretty much it. Power Tool Dragon is okay in some decks. It's kind of hard to use right now, but it might be good in the future, who knows. Black Storm Rising. The best card in this entire box is probably Black Whirlwind for your Blackwing deck, and maybe Cards of Consonance if you're playing stuff like Blue Eyes, but you can get this card from a structure deck. So if you're planning to spend your money on your structure decks, don't get it from here. Well, there are some good Dragunity cards in this box, so if you want to play Dragunities, you will want to consider this box. Next box, Secret of the Ancients. Junk Synchron is a very important card in Synchrons, but it is again available in structure decks. And the other cards are pretty bad. There is a good staple, Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare, which negates a effect of a special summoned monster this turn and destroys it. Revolution Beginning. This box is really important if you want to play Koaki Mirus, and also you get your Miracle Fusion. If you can't afford the selection boxes, you can get your Miracle Fusions from here. But again, I suggest you get this card from Dream Tickets if you really want it that much. There are quite a bit of Karakuri cards in this box, so if they get unlimited in the future, you might want to consider this box, because they are still in fact quite good, if they're unlimited. Tornado of Phantoms. This box is bad. There is a Mana Dragon for Red Eyes decks, but all the other cards are bad. Absolute Inferno. It has some good staple cards like Skill Prisoner and Bad Aim. It has Living Fossil, which is good in some decks to revive their monsters from the graveyard. This card has quite a bit of potential. It might see a lot of play in the future. So yeah, this box is actually not bad. If you buy this box, you can play a complete Laval deck, which is not bad actually. And you also get stuff like Skill Prisoner and Bad Aim as staples. This box, Dimension of the Wizards. Madolches might get good in the future if more supports come out. Psychic Wielder is good in rank 3 or level 6 synchro decks. Dimensional Prison is pretty good for low ranked or in NPC duels. And Stromberg is a pretty cheap deck that you can play. Warriors Unite. It has some crucial scrap support if you want to play scraps. It has a bunch of really powerful 6 samurai cards that you will definitely need if you're planning to play 6 Sams. You have your Shuffle Reborn for your Photon decks. You definitely need a couple of copies of this card. Herald of the Abyss is pretty good because it lowers your life points and triggers your skills. Concentrating Current is good in some OTK decks and also some farm decks actually. It raises the attack of your monster and helps you deal more damage for farming. This box is still pretty good because 6 Samurais are still decent to this day. Lords of Shining. This box has a White Stone of Ancients, which is also reprinted in a structure deck. It has Dark Lords. Unfortunately, their cards are heavily limited, so it is currently not good. So yeah, this box is not that good unless Dark Lord cards get unlimited in the future. Then this box will be a lot better. Next box, Blazing Rose. Well, Black Rose Dragon is reprinted in a selection box. There are some pretty cool decks that you can build from this box, like Subterrors or Metavies. So actually, pretty good box. You also get generic synchros like Vermilion, Guardians of Rock. This box is actually really good. It has tons of good Magnet Warrior support. We have a Magician's Navigation, we have a Triumvirate cards, and we have a Block Dragon, all within a single mini box, which is in half gem sale. Pretty good box to consider. Cybernetic Rebellion. This box is really good. It has Crystron support, and Crystrons are quite a good deck. I'm not biased at all. There are some good Cyber Dragon support. There are good Crystron support. There is a Deep Sea Diva for your Water Xyz. There are good back row removal. There are some good water synchro monsters. There are a bunch of just good water support in general. So yeah, this box is pretty decent. Would recommend checking this box out. This box is very good if you want to play Vendread, It also has some pretty generic zombie support like Plague Spreader and your Glow Up Bloom. Valhalla Calling. We have Forbidden Lands, still a really good staple to this day. We have our most important Dark Lord spell, our Banishment of the Dark Lords. We have some Fortune Lady support, even though the deck isn't very good, but it is there. So the best card in this entire box is probably just Lance. The other cards are not too good. We still have some generic stuff like Scrap Dragon, but the other cards, the Fortune Lady stuff, the Nordic stuff, all aren't too good. Let's talk about boxes that are actually good. Dark Dimension, a really good box. While not as good as it was before, Element Sabers are still pretty decent. Alistair is still good. Necro Valley is a very powerful floodgate. Samurai Destroyer is one of the best synchro monsters in the entire game. Magician Girls are a pretty cheap deck that you can pretty much build from just this box alone. And Thunder Dragons will just get better when their new support comes out. Okay, Spirit of the Beast. So this is a tricky one. It is quite good if you are willing to spend your time to learn how to play ritual beats. But even if you don't want to play ritual beats, there are still Yosenju support, Cristrons, and Super Team Buddy Force Unite, and Magnet Warrior support. Aerial Assault, we have our Black Wings in this box. Black Wings are in fact still decent right now. We have Purgatrio for our invoked players, and Brionac for generic synchros, and Darkhand Dragon for resonators. Soul of Resurrection, good staples like Raigeki Break are in this box. Shinuis are pretty good. A lot of the cards are no longer limited. It is a pretty cheap deck that you can build from this mini box alone. Red Resonator is very important in Resonator decks. Yeah, so pretty good box actually. Future Horizon, really good box. It has good Cyber Dragon stuff. It has a Dark Magical Circle for Dark Magicians. It has good staples like Lancia and Chain Disappearance. You have good cheap decks like Super Heavy Samurais. Good synchros like Zeta and your Stealth Ninja. And also your Dragon Duel if you want to play Thunder Dragons. Masters of Shadow. This box has your Melodious support. If you don't want to spend money on your selection boxes, you can get your Melodious support from here. There are some good ninja supports in this box as well. And your Gearfried can be also obtained from this box. You can also get Yosenju Kama 1 from this box. For your Yosenju deck, it is very important to bounce your opponent's monsters back to their hand. Judgment Fools. This box has a ton of different archetypes that are pretty decent. There are Blue Eye support, Light Sworn support, Dragunity support, just generic synchro stuff, Lunalights, Orcust, Gishki, Necros Kaleidoscope, and Gradle stuff, and also World Chalice stuff, but those are reprinted so those don't matter. So tons of decent archetypes all stuffed into one single main box. So if you're a fan of playing a lot of archetypes in this box, then you will want to buy this box. So if you're a new player and want to play a ton of different archetypes at once, then you'll probably want to consider this box. Fortress of Gears. It has some really crucial hero support, it has good Machina cards, and it has a Ballista Squad for just generic card removal. There are also Aroma stuff for new players, a really good starter deck for new players to play, for both low ranked and also farming. Yeah, so that covers all of the half gem sale boxes. I will cover the rest of the boxes next time, because my mouth is getting way too tired right now. So thanks for watching, goodbye.